also from Meredith, an incumbent.
Yes, thank you.
To our newly district of Gilford and Meredith.
Yes. I am from Meredith, and I'm the only Republican who voted against the redistricting for our two districts. I thought both towns should have their own districts. They should have their own representatives. That was the law that the state put in, and it got overridden. So at least I put up my first term. I made a little tweak. That was about all I got. You know, I got a little tweak. That was it. I've been in this state most of my life. I spent 14 years in Michigan, where I met my wife Jane, and we both now live here in Meredith. I've been all over the world. I've been around a lot longer than most people. I mean, I think Herb and I are pretty close to the same age, but I was born in the 40s. I was a kid in the 50s and 60s. I've seen a lot of changes in this area, and I've seen a lot of changes in the state. I've never seen as many changes as we've had in the last 4 or 5 years or 6 years. Things have really changed. When I started my business 20 years ago, it was a pretty simple business. My father had a little grinding shop, and my mother, when he died, my mother gave me the shop, and I said, gee, this is something I can do. I was working in Boston. I didn't like to commute every day. We were living in Derry. We drove to Massachusetts every day. What a grind that was. We came back to New Hampshire. We opened the business. We went around all over the state, knocking on doors, doing it, you know, every person. I didn't run advertisements. I just went knocking on doors and talking to people. I did the same thing when I wanted to become a representative, when I decided that I'd run for the representative. I went knocking on doors because that's how I got my business built, and that's how I got, you know, voted in, I guess, because I knocked on a lot of doors. Building my business became sort of a fun thing to do, and I thought I had a pretty good business that would not be hurt by any downturn in the economy. As a matter of fact, I do a little sharpening service, and so most people, when the economy gets bad, they don't throw things away. They don't buy new stuff. They tend to save the stuff that they have, and they do it. And for 15 or 20 years, that worked really well. Within the last few years, all we've seen is businesses slowed. Contractors aren't building. You know, we need to get more contractors back in the jobs. We've seen, you know, thank God we have dog groomers. People love their animals more than they do their kids, because you know, those people are still working. But you know, there's a lot of people who are suffering, and a lot of people who are just not doing anything because they're afraid. And I went to Concord. I got involved in being a legislator because I thought, well, listen, I learned a few things this last year. I learned a few things about liberals. You know, they're sort of like my grandfather. He was a farmer, and the liberals really are good farmers. You know, they're probably better dairy farmers than they are anything else, because they can find all the business people that have businesses and all the people that work hard, and they can treat them like dairy cows. They can milk them every day. So, you know, that's something that needs to stop. I'm tired of being milked by the people that have ideas that we have to save everybody in the world. We don't have to save everybody in the world. Let some of these people save themselves. You know, if you're a hardworking person, you need to go to work. You need to do your job, and if you pay your taxes, that's all you should be asked for, not everything that you have. And that's what this whole I would say that's what our economy and our government is trying to do. They're trying to strangle the businessmen. They're trying to strangle the people that are out there making a living. I'm on the education committee, and hopefully I'll get back on that. I think education is where it all starts. We need a good, solid foundation for education. We need that from the people, and I think that the people who know more about their kids are the parents. So I've always voted for the parents' right to choose how they educate their children, whether it's homeschooling, whether it's a regular school, or whether it's a, you know, charter school, any kind of school. If the parent wants to put their kids there, that's where they should go. Not the state telling the kids they got to do this, or not some principal, or not some superintendent. I mean, it should be a cooperative thing. We did that to some degree this last legislative season. We got some of that passed. We still have a long way to go. We still have a lot of agencies in the state that actually want to set the rule over the law. They want to make the rule stronger than the law. We pass a law with a certain intent, and the agency come along and say, oh, let's increase that, make that even more stronger. You know, well, that's wrong. And so we fought against that all this last legislative season. Hopefully that's what we're going to do again. We need a good group of Republicans to be down there and do the job, and I think you'll see some results. Hopefully that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
GrokTV.